Hello everyone, we are Group 8 and we are presenting on the women's right to vote. In the 1800s, women in the U.S. had few legal rights. They couldn't vote, own property independently in many states, or hold office. Society saw them as caretakers, not citizens. This inequality sparked early calls for change. The women's suffrage movement began in 1848 at the Seneca Falls Convention in New York. Leaders like Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Lucretia Mott wrote the Declaration of Sentiments, declaring that all men and women are created equal. Throughout the late 1800s, women like Susan B. Anthony, Sojourner Truth, and many others organized rallies and formed groups like the National Women's Suffrage Association to demand equal voting rights across states. The movement faced resistance. Critics claimed women were too emotional or unfit for politics. Many women were arrested during protests, but the backlash only strengthened their resolve. However, there were victories in the states on the way to the federal right. In 1869, Wyoming Territory granted women the right to vote, hold office, and other electoral rights in all elections under territorial law, and other states like Colorado, Kansas, and Utah followed suit.
For over 70 years, suffragists demanded equality, but Congress refused to listen. Lawmakers tabled petitions, ignored protests, and stalled debate. The same government built on freedom denied it to half its citizens. The first suffrage amendment reached Congress in 1878. It failed, and so did every version for 40 years. Yet women kept lobbying, writing, and marching. Each defeat only exposed how fragile American democracy really was. When World War I began, women worked in factories, hospitals, and farms. Their loyalty made injustice impossible to ignore. Activists reframed suffrage as democracy's unfinished promise, and politicians finally felt the pressure. In 1919, after decades of marches and arrests, Congress finally passed the 19th Amendment, a federal law guaranteeing women the right to vote. Politicians acted less from conscience than calculation, sensing women's growing power could no longer be ignored. And after Congress approved the amendment, 35 states said yes, one short of victory. In Tennessee, a young legislator named Harry Byrne changed his voice after reading a letter from his mother, and that single vote gave women the ballot, though many women of color still faced barriers for decades.
On June 4, 1919, the 19th Amendment was officially adopted into the U.S. Constitution. After Congress passed it, it was ratified by the 36th state Tennessee on August 18, 1920. Women officially became able to vote. Next, the Formation League of Women Voters, founded by Carrie Chapman Catt in 1920, the League aimed to educate women on political matters and encourage informed voting and ensuring that women exercise their newfound rights. Secondly, the first national election with women voters on November 2nd, 1920, women across the United States participated in the presidential election for the first time, and this was a pivotal moment for women. Despite constitutional guarantee, many women, particularly women of color, experienced significant barriers due to voting. Discriminatory practices such as literary tests, poll taxes, and outright intimidation prevented many from casting their ballots for decades.
Since 1920, women have gone from having no political power to being vice presidents, governors, and members in Congress. The 19th Amendment really did open a lot of doors for women in this country to show their strength. The women's suffrage victory ended up inspiring more future movements and change, like the Equal Rights Amendment passed in 1972, movements for reproductive rights, and equal pay. Not all women gained the right to vote in 1920. Indigenous women, immigrants, and women of color faced rough voter suppression. Many of their challenges still are around today in different forms. Their suffrage left a lasting mark on today's world. Today, many women in Congress wear white to honor those who fought and continue to fight for their equality. This is the symbol of their togetherness, which is pivotal for change. The women's suffrage movement showed everyone how powerful it can be to collectively take action. Some of today's women's activists are for racial justice, gender equality, and the Me Too movement. The suffrage movement proves that coming together and being persistent can create change for the better.